Hi, it's Scott Allen for The Raw. Today I'm going to have a look at some of the Wallabies' continuing defensive problems in their match against South Africa. First up from a kickoff, and this was the first kickoff of the game, not the one where Kirshner scored, but it should have sent a signal that there were going to be problems having forwards marking the left side of the field where the Springboks' backs were. So we've got a mismatch of fast men against slow men. As we come to the next phase, we'll see the Wallabies have got a pod of three forwards, and they're marking the three Springbok forwards, but they're going to be used as a decoy with the ball going out the back to Stain. That's going to leave Slipper and Lealifano with some assistance from Ashley Cooper arriving to cover the back line. Now this is off a kickoff, so you've got Folau, Cooper and Moen all in the backfield, not up in the front line, and that's why the Wallabies are a little short on numbers. Because they are short on numbers, they can't move forward, and you can see their movement is straight across field, and it's a very passive defence. The Springboks recognise this shortage and run the ball. When we look at the next phase, you can see that the Wallabies are short on the blind side. We've got Lealifano coming back into the action. Simmons actually moves from the other side of the ruck, but because they're short, they really can't move forward and they're backpedaling, so it's a very passive defence. Here from a kick-off again shows the folly of having the small fast men up against the Springboks' big forwards. They maul the ball easily forward. Now Stephen Moore's one of the forwards that's come across from the left side of the field to help out, but you can see that Nick White is on his own on the blind side. And the Springboks have already got Vandermeer on that side. Moore sees the problem and reacts quickly, comes around and takes Dupree, but then White's got to deal with a forward. That just shouldn't happen where backs are left alone like this by the forwards. Next phase, the Boks spin it wide. There's the mismatch again, fast men against slow men, and that was Kirshner's try. In the next example, you can see Lealifano out on this side of the ruck, and when we go out to a wider shot, you'll find there are two Springbok forwards running at him. Fardy does recognise it, comes around, but he takes the halfback, and as I say, there's two Springbok forwards running at a back again. Now in this case, the ball is passed out the back to Stain, and they go wide, and again you'll see the shortage. Because they're short in numbers, both Cooper and Ashley Cooper are having to run sideways rather than being able to move forward with some line speed. Here we'll see another example of how slow the Wallabies are to realign. A maul from a kick-off, out to Strauss, who steps back inside and beats a tackle, and from this ruck you can see Slipper is the only player on the short side for the Wallabies. There are two Wallabies at the previous ruck who haven't got back up, but the Springboks are going to have three available on this short side. Slipper takes the halfback, and it's Beast who makes a good break down the left side, forcing another cover-up tackle, scrambling defence again. As the ball's now moved wide, and again the Wallabies have got four of their tight five defending against some of the Springboks' fast men. Simmons rushes forward trying to shut the play down, which doesn't work, but it's another clean break. Now as we look at the next phase, look where we've got Moen going on the far touchline. He's automatically gone out to the wing. When he looks up, he's marking LaRue, and he leaves a back inside in Cooper to try and defend against Vandermeer. The forwards have got to take the forwards to leave the backs on the backs, and it's just not happening. In this example, we've got three Wallabies on the short side. There's Kurandrani, Robinson and Moen. And when we roll the clip on, you'll see the Springboks urgently realigning to get over to the far side of the field because they sense an opportunity. But look at the movement of those three players on the left side of the ruck. Kurandrani recognises something's on and starts moving to the far side. But Moen and Robinson are just dawdling along. And look what happens again. The Wallabies playing catch-up going across field trying to keep up with the Springboks. In this example, we've got, again, the ball being moved wide and the Wallabies are short, and you've got Tamua and Kurandrani coming forward. At this point, they've got to make a decision. Do they keep going hard forward, or do they start sliding across now to cover the width? And unfortunately, the decision-making is just a little bit slow, so they come forward a little too much, then they have to turn and chase backwards to try and cover up the overlap. And in the final example, we'll see a number of these problems all occurring at once. It's late in the game, but the Wallabies have got things pretty well covered here. The Springboks have got their midfield stacked with forwards, but the Wallabies have got forwards lined up against them, so defending like for like. I want you to watch what these two Springbok decoy runners do, their forwards, and how they drag Robinson and Tamani back in towards the ball, creating some space outside. They're decoy runners, but they run an angle back towards the ball, and then the ball goes out behind them. And you can see there that Robinson and Tamani have both gone in. Tamani's now turning and chasing, trying to get back out. You also have to wonder, what was Ben Moen thinking, getting that far out of the line? And then having made the mistake, I'd like to see some urgency. He almost ushers LaRue through, and then look how slowly he's chasing the play. I'd like to see him absolutely flat out. I know it's late in the game, but as you can see, the Springboks are full of running. We need the Wallabies to be more urgent. And again, as Moen comes back here, he's jogging in slowly, And it's typical of what's going on with the Wallabies forwards. As you can see there, look at the gap outside of Moen. And you can see that already the Springboks have got 4 forwards lined up ready to attack, and it takes the Wallabies that little bit of extra time to catch up. Nothing comes of it in this case, but the Wallabies always seem to be 1 or 2 steps behind in defence.